I'm awake, so we're doing this here on Saturday, August the 24th. I didn't even have to look at the date today. I remembered yesterday was, the day I had to um, pay the pawn shop. So, which I did. I believe I mentioned in yesterday's video. So my class ring is safe for another 2 months. I went ahead and made 2 payments instead. But anyway, blah. Yes, I've been asleep a lot. I even went to bed and slept in bed. This didn't do me any good, though. Like, last week, I was still fucking tired. I slept all fucking weekend. I was still fucking tired. I was kind of hoping, since they found, blood clots in my lungs, which who knows how long I'd been dealing with. Maybe that's what was making me tired all the time. But, I mean, other than being an adult and working 2 jobs and barely ever getting any sleep. There it is. I found it. I was like, where the fuck is it? I was like, well, maybe that's part of my problem, and it's like, oh, yes, also, it's storming. Well, that's the neighbors. So we might get some delicious thunder boomies in the background, setting the ambiance for today. That's why I don't have the curtains open, because it's dark anyway. Gloomy. I don't think it would light it up that much in here anyway, but man. Yes, I woke up, I think it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that. I wanted to I wanted to watch the last episode of Evil, Tear, at least for right now. Maybe someday they'll bring it back, but it's kind of one of those things. I was stuck in a I didn't want it to be over, but at the same time I also didn't want spoilers. I didn't want to find out what happened. I'm happy with the ending, if this is where everything is left. I don't know how Minxie feels about it, but she loves these chin scritches. So, she's here for that. Now that I'm awake, it's give me attention time. Give me attention time. Even though you jumped up here and knocked a whole bunch of shit over. I think actually it was my mouse. I think my mouse was sitting here on the corner, on the arm of the chair, on the arm of the couch. And I think when she jumped up here, she knocked it over or kicked it or something, and it went flying and knocked some other shit over. And of course I woke up at 9 o'clock to my alarm to take my medications. I don't know. If I have to stay on Eliquis for the rest of my life, it would be nice if maybe I could go down to once a day instead of twice, because then it's like on my weekend, it's like I could just take it, and then I wouldn't have to have any other alarm. I could just leave me alone. But anyway, we shall see on all of that. I did hear the storm this morning at some point. I don't know if it's when I woke up to take the medication, or if it woke me up because it was like rumbling. Speaking of rumbling, so's my tummy. Rumbling my tummy. That was supposed to be Winnie the Pooh. I know you already knew that because it was so spot on. Perfection. But just in case it was a little bit too abstract. It's like when you kind of hear a song and you're like, oh, I know that song, but how do I know that song? And then once somebody tells you what the song is, you're like, yeah, that's it. So I understand how it can happen. Even though no matter how perfect the performance might be, I get it. Sometimes it happens. But yeah, I was actually thinking about eating something. This is why I shouldn't be in charge of children. Did I eat? Did I eat something? Why do I feel like I ate something? I did. I ate the rest of Mom's soup that she sent with me. I ate something. I guess I'm ready for more food now. I don't know. Does Eliquis make you, like, super hungry or something? I don't know. You know, on top of everything else, I have a tapeworm. Who knows? I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyway, I suppose there's a question to answer for today. Ain't there? What makes you feel weak? Well, the blood clots certainly weren't that great in terms of that. What makes me feel weak? I mean, of course, you know, I guess there's physically weak. Working 2 jobs makes me feel physically weak. Because that's what they asked me that's one of the questions I remember in the hospital, was they talked about if I felt like tired or weak or whatever, and I'm like, well, I mean, yeah, kind of, but it's like, I mean, I work 2 jobs, so I just kind of attributed it to that, you know. There's emotionally weak. What makes me feel emotionally weak? I don't really know. Like, I mean, I've talked on other videos before about how sometimes, you know, it's like, I mean, you know, RuPaul talks about having that little voice, your inner saboteur, as they say, or whatever, and it's like sometimes, you know, it like pecks at you, and you think like, you know, I mean, I know my friends like me, and they want to hang out with me, and especially after almost dying, apparently, you know, but it's like sometimes it's like, you know, I'm like, oh, you know, they just want to, you know, they feel sorry for me because they think I'm lonely or something, you know, I don't know, stupid things like that. But I don't really, I just kind of like, it's kind of like RuPaul talks about, like, you know, oh, just, you know, you're being silly, you're being stupid. That's not true. I don't know why that thought's in my head. I don't know. I mean, maybe more people think like that than will admit it. I don't know. You know, I mean, it's stupid. I know it's not true. So it's just kind of like, I just kind of, you know, put it to the side because it's a stupid thought to even be in my head sometimes, you know, but I mean, it's there. And like I said, I think a lot of people maybe feel that way sometimes. Like, you know, I guess maybe that comes somewhere from trust issues and trusting people, and it is hard to trust people, and I get it and I understand, you know, but you know, like, oh, these people don't really like me or whatever, you know, stupid shit like that. That voice does pop up in my head sometimes, but I'm like, it's stupid. Like, I don't even know why I'm thinking it because it's not true. You know what I mean? But it's there, you know? That little voice in the back of your head. It's like, how about you shut up now? You know, like, it's just silly. But, you know, like I said, I think a lot of people have that thought from time to time, maybe one reason or another. And it's like, you know, I guess it's one of those things, maybe, you know, they talk about how people don't talk about XYZ enough, you know, but it's, people say we don't talk about mental health enough, but it's like every time a celebrity kills themselves, every time somebody, you know, commits suicide or whatever, like, it's brought up, you know, so it's like, I don't know how you can say we don't talk about it enough. But, I mean, I guess we wait until a celebrity dies to talk about it. But it's like, to talk about mental health, you know, mental health issues and whatever. And it's like, but I feel like we talk about it a lot. Like, I don't know. So I mean, you know, sometimes I can have silly thoughts like that, but like I said, I think it's more normal than maybe some people realize. And of course, some people listen to the voices more than other people. So you know, um, that's unfortunate, but it do happen. You know. Um, so I mean, you know, you can feel spiritually weak, I suppose, but I'm not really that much of a spiritual person. Kind of like, you know, when when Riley and Peter were kind of having their discussion at because the discussion turned to like religion and whatever. I just kind of like sat there and listened. I didn't really like, you know, get involved or anything. And I was kind of like, I was like, kind of like, I was like, I was kind of hoping they wouldn't ask me my thoughts on anything, because I'm just kind of. But as we were leaving, Peter, you know, he asked me what, you know, my religious thoughts were or whatever, and of course I had to be like, oh, I don't really know, you know, I don't feel like I really have the answers, you know what I mean, you know, because it's like you know, Joe, Cheeseburger Joe from back in the day. I don't even think Nick took all his videos down off his channel, but he did have the one where Joe was drunk. And I mean, maybe this is lost media. Maybe it's a secret. Maybe I shouldn't say. I don't know if you remember Joe from back in the day, but he was the one in the video. That was probably Nick's most popular video, where Joe got drunk, and he jumped into the snow in his underwear, and then came back inside. So that could have been on a You Laugh, You Lose challenge these days. If not that anybody calls it that anymore. But but yeah, we were on one of our little food adventures, whatever, and I guess they were talking about, I don't even really remember, or if it just came out of nowhere, but he's like, I have a question, and you can't say you don't know, or whatever. And you know, that's what he asked about, you know, religion, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, but I don't know. Like, that's my answer. I don't know. And as far as I'm concerned, nobody actually knows. You have thoughts, you have, you know, opinions, you have faith, you have theories, but you don't know. Nobody fucking knows. Like, I don't know, you don't know. No one in this car actually knows. Like, no one on this planet actually knows. You know, like, that's the answer that everyone should be giving. It's like, well, I mean, this is the way that I see it, but, you know, that doesn't mean that I'm right. That doesn't mean that I'm correct. That, you know, like, so that's my answer. It's like, I don't know. You know, like, nobody does as far as I'm concerned. You know, that book's been read a lot of different ways, and then you can get into, like, the Book of Mormon, or did the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, don't they have, like, their own book or something? I don't know, like. And it's like, apparently the Quran is like different than the Bible, and it's like, I don't know. So there's a lot of truths out there, and I mean, one of them might be right. Who knows? You know, like, that's kind of my thought on the whole thing. Like, but there again, like, you know, like I've said, I don't know if I've ever discussed it during one of these questions or whatever, but it's like, you know, out of all the theories, out of all the possibilities, out of all the truths out there, like the Westboro Baptist Church, they could be right. They have just as much opportunity to be right as everyone else and all of these other theories that are out there. But I follow that up by saying, if God's that much of an asshole, I don't want to hang out with the guy for eternity anyway. Like, what does it matter? What does it matter? You know, you know what I mean? Like, who gives a shit? You know? So, I don't know. Like, that's kind of my thoughts on spirituality, I guess. Is that there's a lot of truths out there, and some of them might be true. One of them might be true. It all might be bullshit. Who fucking knows? The Shadow knows. I need to rewatch that movie, because it's like, I don't remember if I liked it or not. I would think if I liked it, I would remember liking it. I like The Phantom with Billy Zane and Catherine Zeta-Jones. I don't think a lot of people like that movie, but I did. Finding all the crystal skulls. That's kind of a neat movie. He was kind of like I guess maybe they were trying to, maybe, I don't know. I don't really know much about the character of Phantom, but it's like almost like they were setting him up to be like a purple Batman or something. Like, you know, in his everyday life he was cool and he was suave, and you know, I don't know if he was supposed to be a billionaire playboy, but that's kind of how sort of how I remember the character being. And then of course, you know, it was entertaining. I don't know, so I don't know if the Shadow was entertaining or not. I don't know. But I need to because I keep saying that, like, who knows? The Shadow knows. And I say it all the time. Like, the movie at least put that much of an impression on me. You know, it got stuck in my head doing that, so. I don't even know how many people get the reference anymore, but I mean, it was an old comic book too, from my understanding of it, but now I'm off on a whole other tangent, which you're used to. Why do I have to explain myself? You know what happens when you're here, you know, usually. So, I don't know, I just don't really feel, I mean, I guess I just don't feel weak a whole lot of times. Now, you know, concerning my health, you know, I do have concerns that now, you know, like, you know, things are only going to go downhill from here, you know, I guess. Hopefully not quickly. I mean, I feel like I bounced back from that fairly quickly, but I guess that doesn't mean that it's over, you know what I mean? Especially if I'm, you know, they don't know where the blood clots came from, if I continue to have them, you know, so I mean, I guess there's a little bit concern there. You know, but at least so far, so I mean, I guess, like, feeling helpless, I like to take care of myself, so like, you know, like being in the hospital, you know, and having to, like, they gave me like this wipe down, it's like, you know, for my bath, whatever, it's like, I mean, I'd rather take care of myself, so it's like, you know, I guess that makes me feel a little weak, maybe emotionally, maybe physically, I don't know. You know, it's like I don't like to not be able to get out and go do things, and I miss a whole trip to Omaha, which is unfortunate, you know. But, so I mean, I guess that can make me feel weak, and that, you know, with my health, if my health ever declines and it's like I can't, you know, take care of myself, I would pretty much fucking hate that, you know. But hopefully we're a long way away from that. So, we shall see. Time will tell, I suppose, where I am a year from now, you know. Hopefully still, you know, doing as good as I am right now. You know, I feel like they caught it, you know, but, I mean, it could happen again, possibly. So, I mean, I guess that does, you know, the concern over, you know, the blood clots and where they came from and are they going to come back, I suppose that does make me feel a little weak, you know. I don't know if it's emotionally, physically, like right now I feel fine physically, you know. I mean, I have since, you know, like 3 weeks ago, whenever, you know, I had the procedure. It wasn't an operation, it was a procedure. You still cut, you know, I mean, you know, details. So if you're squeamish, maybe mute me for a second. But it's like, you know, you still, like, cut into me and shoved a tube up inside of me to suck the, you know, suck the blood clots out. So, you know, procedure, surgery, whatever you fucking call it. I don't know what the difference is. I can't tell. But anyway, you can come back now. I'm done. I'm done with the details of what they've done to me. Um, you know. So I mean, I suppose that, does make me feel, but it's like it's not really. It could become something, like it's not as much of a concern at the moment because, like I said, I feel like I'm doing fine. I feel like I bounced back okay from it. I'm able to walk. I'm able to, be on the go. I mean, I'm just as tired as I was before, but I work 2 jobs. Like what are you gonna do? It's like I hardly ever sleep except for on my weekend, but then it's like when I do something on my weekend, like I don't get a chance to really catch up that much because it's like I mean, I don't want to come home from work and go right to sleep and then go right back to work, and it's like once I'm up, once I'm up for my first job, it's like, well, I'm up for the next however many hours, pretty much. I mean, unless I doze off on lunch, which I do. And then when I get home, in between the 2 jobs, it's like I try to take a cat nap for maybe, depending on when I get home, maybe about an hour or so, and get up and go do it all over again. But, oh, goodness. Speaking of that, I'm like yawning right now. But anyway, it's kind of like, I've talked about, like, I mean, emotionally, like, I mean, I'm happy. I like my life. It might be fairly simple, and people might think, oh, you just have some kind of shitty retail job. You know what I mean? But it's like, but I'm happy, like, it's like, I mean, even at Parks and Rec, like, I clock out for the day, and I'm done, like, I come home, I do what I want, which is usually, I mean, I don't always do what I want, because I end up falling asleep, but you get the idea. It's just kind of like, I don't have to work on a presentation or, like, I'm done. When I come home, I'm done. No further work to be had. Clock out, go enjoy your life as much as you can. You know what I mean? Before you fall asleep. But it's like, I don't know. It's like, I don't, like, oh, you have a shitty retail job. You don't have a family. You don't have a significant other. It's like, blah, 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 blah. So what? Like, people fucking suck. I don't want them up in my shit all the fucking time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy coming home to silence. And, like, sometimes getting meowed in the face, ma'am. But other than that, silence. I do what I want when I want, pretty much. Like, I don't know, I enjoy the freedom of not having to take anyone else into consideration, That's how people define their happiness, I guess. It's like a significant other, a family, like whatever. Children, I'm like, other people can have children. I don't need them. It's fine. Like, so I don't know, like, I'm happy with my life. So, like, I mean, I feel, I mean, I guess I feel a little less physically okay. Because it's like, I mean, before this, it's like I hardly ever got sick. Sometimes I might have got sick, but then I was like, oh, it's just allergies. Like I came up with an excuse. Oh, it's just allergies, even though I was actually probably like actually sick. So, I mean, with the whole blood clot thing, I do feel a little bit physically maybe not as okay as I did before. There are some concerns, for the future there. But, I mean, that kind of happens as you get older. I know they would say 44 is not old, but, older, But, I went and got it, I knew it wasn't right, so I went and got it looked at and got it hopefully taken care of, but, so I mean, for the most part, I always felt physically okay, or physically strong, if you want to put it that way, like emotionally strong, because it's like, I don't know, my life's pretty happy. It's a simple life, but it's happy, it's a happy one, so it's like, I mean, emotionally, and of course, like I said, spiritually, I'm like, I don't even fucking know, like, I'm just gonna walk around on this I'm just gonna walk around on this planet, you know, being a good person, and hopefully, if there's some kind of, you know, golden brass ring in the end, whatever, like I achieve it, you know, or it could just be blip, like a TV that goes dead, you know, nothing. Who knows? The shadow knows. I had to hit you with that one last time, I guess, because I've talked for long enough, so and my battery is dead, as it were. So before this goes blip, and I mean at least the camera you can fucking charge, you know. I mean people, I guess a certain amount of times you can go clear, you know, but I don't know that like what if you could charge people? And we just like we just powered down for a little bit, but it's like you could plug us in, and then we just, you know, there'd be a lot of fucking people on this planet. If just nobody ever died, we just kept making more people. Like, I guess that's you can't really what's the word I'm looking for? That's not a very sustainable life, I suppose. But. But anyway, yes, that's probably enough for today, I guess. And I didn't really get any good thunder boomies, which is disappointing, but guess I should have woke up sooner, huh? I need to respond to Mom's text anyway. I saw she had a text, because I texted her. We're trying to figure out Monday and getting me up to the doctor. Which I guess, well, Monday's question might come very late. Very late at the end of the day. Especially if we leave right after, or Marilee's talking about, because we're talking about meeting halfway, and Marilee's talking about leaving right after work, but it's like, that's like half an hour. Yeah, I guess we've done that before, but because Marilee had some kind of plans or something, she was meeting her mom and her mom's roommate or something, you know. So I guess we need to figure that out. And blinkety blink, yes, I see you. And I'll see you for what I see ya.